Good morning. My name is Ari Zucker, and I am an author of a very fascinating book called The Garden of Eden in Galilee. So what I would like to do in this video series is to explain my findings a little bit, and our journey begins in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. There were two trees planted in the Garden of Eden: tree of life, tree of knowledge. God said, "You may eat from the tree of life, but do not eat from the tree of knowledge." In the beginning, God created man, male and female. But God is neither male or female. So what does this really mean? God is one. We're talking about here the two aspects of God that a man experiences. You see, when a man does good deeds in life with his fellow man, he experiences something called blessings. And we associate this with the tree of life, or the female side of God. And on the other hand, when a man goes off track and he steals from his fellow man, or he kills his fellow man, or he does any of the commandments not to be done, he experiences a curse, and we consider this as part of the tree of knowledge of good and bad. One might ask, why is it called the tree of knowledge of good and bad if it's supposedly only bad? Because God said don't eat from it at all. If it was good and bad, maybe it's good to eat from it. So here we understand that when it says good and bad, it doesn't really mean the tree itself is good and bad, but rather every man has good and bad. Even when he commits a sin, there is still good left in him. And for this reason, it's called the tree of knowledge of good and bad. So, it is my conclusion that the Garden of Eden was a place that God chose to rest or to sit down as his holy place where he wishes to be worshipped, as the tree of life. When Adam committed a sin, he was kicked out of the garden, and the tree of life was hidden. We see a direct parallel with the nation of Israel. They had a temple in Jerusalem, and the tree of life was dwelling in the temple, because God is the ultimate life giver. He is the one who provides us with life. That's why we call him the tree of life. And when Israel sinned, they were kicked out of the land, and the tree of life, or rather God's presence, was hidden. We don't see it anymore. Completely hidden. So we have a direct parallel between the story of Israel and the story of Adam in the Garden of Eden, which leads me to the conclusion that indeed the promised land that was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the land of Israel. And the holy mountain is the Garden of Eden, and the tree of life is the presence of God in that garden. So the story of Israel is really about the re-establishment of Eden as it was in the time of Adam. There's only one problem though with this theory. God had two holy places in Israel, in case you didn't know. You see, he chose Shiloh for 400 years before Jerusalem was chosen. They would come to Shiloh 3 times a year, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, and worship God there in Shiloh before Jerusalem was even thought about. So what happened in history? Are there really 2 Gardens of Eden? Or have we been tricked into thinking that Jerusalem is the place when really God chose Shiloh from the beginning? Let us begin our journey into this idea. And in my book I focus on 3 subjects really. Geographical locations in the Torah, the debate between Shiloh and Jerusalem, which one was chosen, and the debate between the Messiah, son of Judah, or the Messiah, son of Joseph. Who did God really choose? So let us begin with the geographical understanding of the land of Israel in part 2.